Welcome to the Roots and Routes podcast, where community and socioeconomics is the route to our success. I always wish our hometown heroes had the technology during their time to document their journeys, so we'll do it for the rest of them. And here we are at the legendary 14th Street Community Center. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all the digital platforms, and we'll continue to put out amazing content. We're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, fan base, you name it, we are there. Today we got a special guest to bring to the table at the Roots and Routes podcast. To the right of me, our special guest for the day. To the left of me, we got his friend, his teammate, his classmate, his peer, class of 2026. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Both of them, they about to put on a show. I believe this young group, this core group, special young men are on, I'll say, right in line to do something special. So, first of all, to the left of me, we got wide receiver from Portsmouth High School, Mr. Tyshoune Henderson. Put them together. And the man of the hour for the day, one that we've had the privilege to be around him and his special family for years, and to be able to see him also grow into the young man that he is today. We have Mr. Jonathan Carter. Put them together, put them together. All right, so we'll give a little background to who the man is to the right of me so he can be able to tell his own story. But the first question that we ask everyone that comes to the Roots and Routes podcast is, if you had 12-year-old Jonathan Carter in front of you right now, what advice would you give to your 12-year-old self?
Probably just put your head down and work through everything. There's never going to be a shortcut. If you take a shortcut, you're going to have to take a long path somewhere else. So just put your head down and stay the course, and just believe in yourself. Like, you tell people, oh, I want to go play college football, no matter what level, D1, D2, D3, NAI, JUCO. You tell somebody you want to go play college football, they might laugh at you. But especially being from where we're from, so when you're set a goal like that, it's just, then you guys just got to bet on you. I've seen guys that were like, oh, I had no offers out of high school, I went JUCO, but I knew I could do it. Just bet on yourself at all times. Don't let nobody tell you can't do something. So that's definitely the biggest advice I would give to myself.
Positive reinforcement is always a good way to give yourself some affirmations, because a lot of times when you come from certain circumstances, it could be considered a pitfall. It could be considered a situation where it just seems impossible. But at the end of the day, if you have the mindset and the mentality to do whatever it is you want to do in life, whether it's through the field of athletics, through the field of education, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, if you want to be an entertainer, obviously the gift is one thing, but you also have to harness that gift. And I believe these two young men have the potential of the world at their fingertips, and we just want to be a part of the journey and hopefully be on the front line to observe the direction and the path that y'all end up taking. Jonathan and also Tyshoune, I'll allow you to chime in, and you can chime in at any point, but we want to give a background to the journey that Jonathan has taken to get to his senior year. A lot of people can look at your family name in terms of the Parker side. I don't know if it has felt like a burden to you or whether it felt like just part of the path. The reason we call it Roots and Routes is because our roots is where we stem from, and the route is where we branch off to, direction and a pathway to our success. And I was wondering, like, growing up, knowing that your mom and that your uncles and the many long line of Parkers have seen a lot of greats. What did that look as a young athlete at the peewee age? Did you look at yourself as a bigger guy, larger than life, or did you look at yourself as nimble feet, sweet feet, and elusive? How did you perceive yourself at a young age?
At a young age, man, I feel like I always knew I had it. Everybody told me, if you just lock in, like, I had an attitude problem. I ain't gonna listen to nobody. I feel like that kind of set me back, even going up into high school, like it set me back. But I always knew I could do it. Then it's never a burden. Not a lot of people, they just see Jonathan Carter and I don't think, oh, that he's Parker. So once I say something about it, then it could be like, oh, okay, I know who you're. But most of the time, it's just normal. But then for the family wide, like my mom, all she could ever do, like my mom was a hooper. But I like been beating her since I was a kid. So my mom, that was an easy task to take over. Now my uncles, that's something different. But like I still, in my eyes, and I'm thinking a lot of people, I'm the greatest. I got all the keys to do it, and I'm the best. And then Pops was a football track dude. He wanted me to play track so bad. He gets so mad. You want to play baseball? I like baseball. I like baseball. But he was a track football guy, and I feel like he tells me all the time. He's like, man, when I was 17 versus when you 17, so I would do you so dirty. I'm like, no, you wouldn't. So me and him had that conversation all the time. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna be the one that everybody gonna remember. It's not just gonna be what could have been. I'm gonna be the one that do it for real. There's gonna be no excuses to if I never did this. And I just gotta be the one to do it. I can't let nobody like look at me like oh yeah, you was good in high school, but once you got there, then you did this or you did. I gotta be the one out of Portsmouth to do it. All we got right now is gonna be me, Ron, Darion. So me and Darion talk every day, and I just told him like every day you keep like paving the way, and I'm following right behind you.
So that could be something where, just depending on how you view things, some people may look at that as a glass half empty and it may feel like it's some big shoes to fill. But I definitely like your perspective on it and how you are embracing the journey, the challenge, and what's before you. Because I think it's one thing on paper, and I think that's what we're looking at with this upcoming 2025, 26 football season. On paper, y'all have a lot of skill, a lot of athletic, like 3 returning offensive linemen from years previously. What I want to do, we want to connect the dots a little bit and start as early as you can remember, whether it be your first love or your first sports memory. You said your mom was a hooper. I remember her to be. She was definitely a hooper.
She was all right.
I'm sure she probably impressed upon you some of her loves. What was your memory of your early age in terms of athletics?
Charles Barkley. I was a hooper. But I wasn't really Charles Barkley because I can put it in the net from anywhere. I can put it in the net from anywhere on the floor. I started to grow, and I realized, like, what was for me, like, you're not going to see no 6'2.5", 6'3" big man in the NBA. But you might see a 6'2.5" center or guard or defensive tackle nose guard. So I had to just buckle down and find out what was for me. And once I did that, I took that next step, man. It's just been smooth sailing for real.
Hoops was a fan favorite.
Everybody was a hooper at some point. Everybody wanted to hoop. But once you get to 16, 17 and realize you're not 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", then it's just like football is the path that most people end up taking because it's so much easier and you get 11 people on the field at a time. You only get 5 in basketball. So there's that many less scholarship opportunities to play basketball. So football is definitely a lot easier to get recruited in football.
So what's your first football memory in terms of, before you get there, as a matter of fact, I remember your mom, she gave me a nice little story time. Just a little imagination right here. I heard at age 3 that you were hanging around your Uncle Michael and Uncle JoJo Parker at semi-pro football practice. Not long after, you ended up picking up a whistle. And all the players started calling you Coach J. You remember that?
Bits and pieces.
How you remember that at 3 years old?
I don't remember that. We actually used to practice, like when it was raining stuff, they would practice in the gym right in the center. I'd be blowing the whistle, they would run like down and back the court. I was so serious. And that's probably like the only memory I have. And it's not even so much like I remember out of my head. It's just like people reminding me of it.
The other one was, the story is where that you threw on a black practice jersey, softball pants and cleats.
Yep.
And you dragged a duffel bag down the stairs talking about you had football camp.
I did.
And you even yelled about losing the game if you didn't make it to the game, if you didn't show up.
Yeah, I was in my youngest memories, like, my first one was basketball. I used to play upward, and I really used to fry everybody. I was the best in the league. I remember one time we went to Golden Corral, and I didn't take the softball pants off. We forgot. So I went to Golden Corral, had the softball pants and the cleats on, and I told the lady that I just had played a football game. Then we won. And she believed it, too. She walked right on past and was like, good job, all this. And I was like, never played a football game in my life. And then outside of that, I could probably remember, like, 3rd or 4th grade. I was so, like, I always knew, like, I was going to be great. At a young age, I knew I was like, dang, this football stuff, I'm going to take it somewhere. I remember coming to school. It was the winter. It was probably like November. It was pretty cold outside. I remember coming to school in winter gloves and a coat. And I told one of my teachers that I caught a game-winning touchdown pass with the gloves. And she texted my mom and was like, he says he catches touchdown passes, but I don't know if... And my mom's like, he's lying. So it was just like a thing to where it was like, I always wanted to be the guy. And now I feel like it's finally my chance to be the guy. So I just got to step up to the plate and don't waste the opportunity.
So where do you think that passion, and also not only the passion came from, that creative imagination, like at that young of an age?
YouTube. I was watching. I had one of the little tablets, and I had WWE headphones. I used to just watch YouTube. I used to watch all types of football.
Yeah, y'all are the YouTube generation. I don't even think about that.
Different types of football, and then the love for the game really just came from like my pops, my uncles, my mom, coaches for sure. Because I was in like 2nd grade. I was playing on the 3rd grade team. I always play like a year up. So it was never really, and that's when I really like, whenever that moment came, that's when I really was like, oh yeah, I'm the man. I'm gonna be nice when I get older. Because I was playing a year up every year and I was starting both ways. And I was doing my thing. So it was just like, if I could play with the older kids.
So you were never like starstruck to be out there or nothing like that? Did you ever felt like, oh my God, I'm out here with these older kids, or that was never your...
I just felt like I just know how to prove myself. Like the class that graduated last year, like if I could really go back and look at it, like that was real life my class. Like I grew up with all them, like Chase, JT, Landon, all of us. We all grew up together playing together. So then once we separated, now it feels weird because I was like, I've been on the same team with y'all for
since way back, since the Sandlot.
Yeah. So that's why
I want you to talk about your first interaction, whether it was between the lines or outside the lines, with Mr. Carter here. Did you play with him at a young age, or you started out later with him around him?
We started playing in junior high.
Junior high was your first. Okay, so you was with the Trojans, he was with the Soldiers, and so y'all's first. I'm assuming y'all knew each other
since
though.
Kindergarten.
Right. When we was growing up, it felt like 1,000 schools, but that's interesting to see. Y'all was on separate teams in Pee Wee, but at the same time, y'all was in the same school.
Yeah, so we'd always argue about who's gonna win the game and all that during school and stuff. I remember one time I had my Portsmouth jersey on during school, and 3 Soldier players came to me and they was just talking trash.
It's like an Ohio State Michigan rivalry.
Yeah,
we next to us. We sit in class together.
Yeah, that is different. I never even thought about it until literally just now. Okay, so Jonathan, let's go ahead and journey through Pee Wee, and then we'll get to junior high. So, did you have any success at the Pee Wee level, and what was that success like?
I had a lot of success. I think that's really where I learned. That's where the Pee Wee level is like where you learn the fundamentals of the game. You're started at the Pee Wee level, but once you get to junior high school, you fizzle out.
A lot.
And then there's like guys that were all right, Pee Wee level, but they were coachable. They knew what they were doing. Those guys, once you keep going up, you breed kids from the bottom, Pee Wee, and you push them through the system. And now guess what? Once they get to that highest level of varsity, they're a lot better because they know what they're doing. They listen. They've absorbed so much. That's what my biggest thing at the Pee Wee level was, that I was a sponge. I just absorbed everything. And, like, I had an attitude, but, like, my coaches, I can remember my Uncle Michael telling me, he said, you act like this because you're so good and you know it. Mm-hmm. Like, he was like, when you know that you're good, like, I can't tell you. There's nothing, like, but it really wasn't even that. Like, you still just got to be coachable. So that was just a big thing for me. And then once I got to junior high, 7th grade year, really didn't play much. We played Fairland. That was my first game ever playing in 8th grade. Felt like I should have been playing, but I got in the game, did what I had to do, and I ended up starting for the rest of the season. And I was 7th grade, so it was like 3 games left, so I started for the last 3 games. 8th grade year, played halfway through the season. Some stuff happened. I ended up quitting the team.
Wait. Quitting the football team because of
Me
what?
and the coach had a disagreement. I was like, I'm done with football. I don't care about football anymore. I want to play basketball. So I was a hooper for that year. Then freshman year, I came back. Gerald Cadogan was the coach. Coach Cadogan, still my guy. I talk to him probably 3 times a week.
I want you to talk about your mentors, but before we get to your mentors, Tyshoune, you could chime in a little bit more. So y'all at junior high level now. Do you remember any connections y'all had in the junior high ranks, whether it be football, basketball, or just even in the class? What do you remember about yourself? You was a wide receiver, running back, quarterback? What was you in?
Junior high, I played defense. I was in the corner.
Cornerback. You was trying to lock people down, huh?
And I was.
Got you. So
I remember one time, because my mom always talks about it, when we was playing, my 7th grade year, we was playing Ironton. So like they would do 4 quarters of varsity, not 4 quarters of 8th grade, 2 quarters of 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to tackle Zane Williams down the sideline. I was running beyond him. I reached out to grab him, and then, who was it? I don't know who it was. He hit me out of bounds. I flew out of bounds, and everybody thought I was dead. That's my biggest
was
memory.
that bad?
It was terrible. Ty was laying on the ground for probably about 25 minutes, just laying there.
And all it was on my tailbone.
Oh man, come on.
Props to Zane, bro. Zane's a dude.
It still hurts. It still hurts here and there.
Really? Wow.
Zane is a dude. So
It wasn't even him. It was like Tyson something.
He got blocked. He got cleaned up.
It was a flag, but still, they still beat us by a lot.
Who was that against?
Ironton.
Got it.
7th grade year.
We was good. We played the Ironton in the championship. We won. We had the best record. So like, us and Ironton had the best record. So it played out good because we played Ironton the last game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So we both had a good record. So it was, but just us two in the championship in the last game of the season.
Okay, what happened in the championship?
We got blown out.
We got beat by 30.
I remember, who was it? Kaden Edwards, one-handed touchdown pass. They was good, bro.
What year did Sean Terry come to Ironton?
I think that was his freshman year, so it would have been our 8th grade year. It would have been that year. It would have been his first year at Ironton.
So you never had the chance to go against him in junior high, right?
Nah. He would have been. He didn't. He went to South Point 8th
Yeah,
grade.
he didn't.
Okay.
We played versus him, didn't we? Yeah, we probably played versus him.
Played versus him, but I don't remember.
I don't remember. All I remember him is from his senior year. I don't remember nothing else before that.
Okay. Well, I think what I want to do is direct it towards Ironton this year coming up. But before we get there, I want to talk about some of the mentors that you already alluded to. One, Coach Cadogan. So talk on him, talk on any of your coaches or figures that you've had in your life that help guide you.
Definitely Cadogan. I talk to him all the time. He just tells me, like, just keep your head on straight. Just don't let it get to you. Don't walk around feeling like you're the man. Nate Cadogan. So both of them, big influences. But I feel like I can trust a lot of what they're saying because they both been there, done that. Like, they both played college football at the highest.
For sure.
In the Big Ten. Gerald was first team all Big Ten. Ended up at the NFL draft combine, got drafted, all that stuff. And a lot of guys think just because you didn't make it to the NFL, your career is a bust. It's not even that you didn't make it to the NFL because you weren't good enough. Sometimes it's genuinely just there's so many guys that are already there. That's why you see guys play professional sports until they're 30, 35, 37, 40 years old because it's just like they're still like available. Especially in today's like age, like a lot of guys are like, oh, if you didn't make it to the NFL, you're like it was a bust. But especially with NIL money, things like that, certainly not. Because in women's sports, especially, some girls are making more money in college than what they're gonna make professionally. And some guys in college are making more NIL money than what they're gonna make in a career earnings in the NFL. Because you really got to think. Look at how many guys play 3 seasons in the NFL on a practice squad, but they were dogs in college. That's why there's always a debate like, could the best college team beat the worst NFL team? And it's always going to be a no because that's the best. Those are still the best. Those guys had to be dudes in college to get drafted, to be starting on a Sunday. Like, it's not just the jump from high school to college. It's still a hard jump, but it's a step. Now, the jump from college to the NFL, that's a jump. That's why you have to play 3 years of college, because now you're playing grown men who've been in that. They've experienced it all, and they tell me a lot of things that I can look at. And then all my uncles, especially my Uncle Michael, he always shows me his game tape from when he was in high school. Like, and look at me, I'm nice. And he shows me his basketball. He's like, yeah, Curry ain't had nothing on me. And then when we like watching the game, remind me of myself. Like he always pumps himself up, but he always tells me stories like the things that troubled him when he was in college and stuff. Like that's definitely a big one. And then Coach Kolb, not even so much as a mentor, but just a leader. He made sure I had my head on straight at all times. I'd probably say about February, Coach called me into his office. This is when I was first starting to get some looks from school. School starting to come to school and talk to me, starting to call him about me. I probably didn't show up to the weight room for a week and a half, 2 weeks straight. I was like, I'm good. They calling about me. They know who I am. And he was like, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not that guy. Put me on a straight and narrow to lock it and put the work in. So ever since then, like, I'm texting him 4 o'clock in the morning. Hey, can we get in at 6? Can we get in the gym at 6 or 5 in the morning? Can we get in at 9? And I feel like I adopted that mentality from me. You got to outwork everybody. Like, you're not just out. Like, you don't got to just be the best player at your school. You got to be the best player in the county. Like, you have to beat out everybody. For this, like, it's only so many opportunities, so why waste yours?
It's the words of wisdom from such a young king. And I think that should resonate to everybody out there in Roots and Routes land. Once again, we're here at the Roots and Routes podcast studio at the legendary 14th Street Community Center. Share, subscribe. We're on all the digital platforms, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Follow us. We're here to give you amazing content from men and women, young men and young women, to follow their journey and find out who it is that's behind that face shield, who it is that's wearing those high top sneakers, those low top sneakers, who it is that's got that tennis racket in it, who's that running that track and field. Whatever the sport, whatever the athlete, we want to make sure we're at the forefront of following the journey. So I want to now go into your high school. I was talking with Danny Reed a couple episodes ago, and I asked him when he first saw his first real action at the varsity level. Here we are, we're thinking of people that are considered, at least in the GOAT conversation, where you got them ranked at. You might think they probably supposed to start right away. He even had to wait his turn as well. I think he said his sophomore year is when he saw a little bit of significant time, and the rest is history. So let's look at your freshman year and then your very first significant time of action at the high school / varsity level. So talk to us about that. Give us a
Freshman
little
year, I
context.
played all JV, but a lot of guys like come pipe it up, like to get a 4-year letter. It's like very rare, but like most times you guys get a 4-year letter, they're getting a freshman year varsity letter off of being on kickoff or some sort of special teams.
Right.
A lot of the guys didn't actually get in the game. So I never really thought too much about it. I was like, yeah, you got a varsity letter from play kickoff. So it was just like, sophomore year came, and for like the beginning of the year, I wasn't really in the conversation. There was another kid that was in the O-line, D-line room that was getting a lot of recognition over me, which I didn't understand why. So I was like, man, I'm done hearing it. Like, I'm that guy. I'm going to get in the game. So me and Coach Cole, like, I just been grinding in practice. Week 2 of sophomore year, we played West. He called me in his office before the game. Like, right before the bus off, he called me in the office. All the coaches were giving out gear and stuff. He called me in the office. It was just me and him. And he was like, we're going to need you tonight. So, all right, I'm ready. Put me in. I think we ended up losing the game, but the first play in the game, we like fumbled. I like recovered a fumble. I think I had a tackle for loss that game. I was just out there. I really wasn't doing anything super impressive. And then I had played bits and pieces the whole season, but my real like welcome, they always said welcome to college, welcome to NFL. My welcome to high school football moment came against Ironton.
What year
my
was
sophomore
it?
year.
Sophomore year?
I was playing guard. I pulled, and I'm making the same hit I've made 10,000 times. The linebacker came right up under me. He was shorter than me. So this is what the moment I learned you got to bend a little bit. Like when you coming around, I'm running straight up and down, and he comes right underneath me and lifts his helmet and hits me under my chin strap. And like my head was like ringing. I was like, oh God. I went back to the huddle. I was like, my head's spinning. We finished the game out. And then junior year, last year, so started, I had a super season. I had a lot of fun. I only played offense, really. I didn't play much defense last year, but I played a little bit. This year, I'll play a lot more both sides, which that kind of derailed my recruiting process a little bit. It's me not playing D-line because Eastern Kentucky, Indiana State, Northern Iowa, those schools were calling about me defensive-wise. I didn't have any defensive film, so they fell off. And we're going to stay away, which I think they'll come back around once the season starts. Things will change, but those guys fell off. Like, I was talking to the coach from EKU every day. And then once the summer hit, he stopped texting me, stopped checking in. And I understood why. I haven't played defense. I don't have any defensive film for high school. So that kind of sucked, not playing defense last year. So this year I really got to prove myself both sides of the ball. And who knows, you might get to college and play both sides of the ball. So
You go out there, and if you dominate on one side, it's one thing, but I'm hoping that y'all have much success going into this football season. I think y'all have been prepared for this, working towards this moment for a while. So I want you to back up a little bit before we go into your senior season. So let's go back to your sophomore year. One mentor, you didn't have a chance to mention him yet, but Coach Slicer. Let's talk about what that was like for the program as a whole, the school, and what Coach Slicer means to you even currently.
Coach Slicer was really the person that put everything together for me. Once he came down here, he seen me. I would be in the gym morning early. Me and Lynn Collins would let me in the gym, and I'll be getting up shots because at this time I'm still a ball player. I want to play ball, but I'm doing both. I'm doing it all. So I'm getting up 1,000 shots, 800 shots in the morning, 7 a.m. And I got football at 3. So I'm in the gym from 7 to 10. I go eat, and then I got to be right back there for football. So he seen that dedication, and he bought into what I could do. But he was never fully sold on me as a basketball player, which I don't know why. I'm a hooper. Bought in more after that, just seeing how dedicated I was to everything. I ended up pulling my hamstring. I was out for 3 weeks. My body was so stretched thin.
You lost a lot of weight between freshman year and
which
junior
was
year.
not a good thing. Where I wanted to be versus where I was terrible. I think I just stretched my body out too. And I was running, and I just felt like a pool, and I couldn't walk. So that always messes with you mentally. I tore my hamstring, which that's a nasty injury if you do. But I ended up just pulling it, so I was out for 3 weeks, which also was a good bit of the reason why I didn't start as a sophomore, because a lot of the guys that are starting are going to be at summer workouts every day. They're going to be there when it's not mandatory. That's like a number one key thing that you're looking for. If you can show up when it's not mandatory, I can depend on you to show up when it is. So I really couldn't be there to show what I could do, so I just had to low-key sit back. I got some chances, but I just had to sit back and wait my turn. Then I still talk to Coach Lights all the time, and he was just telling me he was proud of me for just believing in myself. And then I think after my sophomore year, I started to lose faith. Maybe the football stuff isn't for me. And Coach Lights was just God gave you a dream, so chase it, don't give up on it. And then I really started buying deep into my faith and just talking, praying, talking to my grandma, having her pray for me, and then everything just started to open up.
Wow, that's awesome. That's definitely a thing that, who knows, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you can look back and be able to attribute the direction. You are at a fork in the road in your life. You can go right or you can go left, or you can veer to the wrong side, but overall, I think your resilience, your determination, your stick-to-itness, wanting to stick to it and stay with what you started, and ultimately, if God gave you a dream, who's to say anything opposite of what God says? Tyshoune, I want you to chime in as well with Coach Lysop and what you felt like he meant to all the young men that he may have impacted, or just the taste that he gave y'all of being hungry and wanting to win, wanting to be great.
We was scrimmaging. It was when we was playing Southwestern, and I got in the game, and he told me, if you want to make varsity, then you got to show me. I didn't show him, of course. But yeah, but he always after that I always thought in my head like if I want whatever I want I gotta go get it. I can't wait for it. And also like back at that time, like when the season actually started, I had a house buyer, so he helped with my donations and stuff. So I always look up to him.
Absolutely. That's much respect. I remember that's one of the first things he said to the team when he addressed them. He more or less just said, if you never disrespect me, I'll never disrespect you. And ultimately, not only the disrespect in terms of the accountability that he expected from y'all, but also the respect he garnered from y'all as well. I think anybody can live by that in terms of the code of conduct of how you conduct yourself. Just give respect to the people. Give honor to where honor is due. Respect the grind, respect the game, and everything else. See where the chips fall after that. So now we're looking at this football season coming up. Right now we got Marquez going to be the starting quarterback. We got a lot of skilled players. What is your observation of the defense in this order? The defense, the offensive line, and then y'all's potential for this upcoming season. Defense, offensive line, and the potential of this upcoming season.
Hey, I think we're gonna be pretty good. We some dogs, man. I just ordered a poster for my locker that just to put it in there, just remind me of her day. And it says hungry dogs run faster. So I really feel like this group is the hungriest group because we really improved on it. Like last year's class, they were the third, fourth, something like that, most winningest class in the Portsmouth history, whatever. They had records, they had this, they had that. Our class, we improved on it, so we hungry. We just want to do it when nobody done before. So I just ordered that for the locker room, and hungry dogs run faster. That's what you gotta think every day.
So you think the expectations of y'all internally is high? What do you feel like the expectations externally is, like from the average fan?
I think a lot of people think that like we lost Chase, so like it's about to be like bad, but really like we don't. I don't feel like we ever rebuilt. We never had rebuild. Like there's a lot of schools like, oh, they're just having a down year, they're rebuilding, they lost a lot. No, we lose a lot and we reload. The next class is next man up right now. We gotta go.
With Chase, all we did was run the ball, but everybody knew. We just switched on play style.
So y'all's playbook sound like it's gonna be a little more open. Is that a fair
It's
assessment?
different, yeah.
Everything.
And so again, defensively, what is it that y'all are going to have to hang y'all's hat on? What if y'all have a successful season? This has to happen.
Or D-line.
D-line.
We got a lot.
D-line has to win
We got a lot of experience. Like we're probably the most experienced group.
in the conference.
You know, in the just like on the team, like out of all the position groups, the D-line,
Okay, I got you.
the D-line's the most experienced. If he is, we're probably gonna have a freshman starting at defensive end.
Okay.
So that's a little bit, but we have faith in him. We believe he can contribute to the team.
So what's the numbers looking like, y'all? We happen to have any idea how many kids y'all have? Is it mandatory yet?
Nah,
When's mandatory?
August. So
for mandatory season.
I think we'll be good.
So the
We're
D-line, you feel like the D-line's gonna be the most experienced.
Yep.
And in terms of like y'all secondary, you feel like y'all
Our secondary will be good. Leland and Caleb have been back there for 2 years. The linebackers will be all right. James is going to be his first year really getting varsity football action. D is really going to be his first year of getting a good bit of varsity football action. But I feel like Trevin and Fernando can really be the leaders of that group, with them being there for Nando for last year and Trevin for 3 years. It's definitely a lot of experience, and we just got to buy into the younger guys. Like, we got to make sure they understand you guys had to be held accountable just as much as the seniors have to be held accountable, because you're going to be able to help the team.
Right.
So I think we're probably, numbers-wise, we're probably sitting 40, 45, let's say.
Okay, so now let's look at the offensive line. So you say you're going both ways, right?
I am.
So defensive line, offensive line. So what's the offensive line? What's the prospects of it?
We return our core three. We've really been the core three since we were in 7th grade. It's always been us three. We're going to be as long as we stuck together, it's going to be like the Cogman O-line, which I honestly wish that I would have moved to center and them two would have been at guards, because then nothing's happy in the middle. We're gonna run it down everybody's throat. Things they play out the way. I'm at tackle. Wes is at other tackle. Bubba's next to me. So those two filler spots, like we always looked at Coach Call. Coach Call, he doesn't like to like move guys around. He would rather just plug and play. So like last year, we returned all 4 of our linemen, and we lost our left tackle. So we were talking about maybe moving a more experienced guy to left tackle because that's a hard position. That's the highest paid position in the NFL for a reason. You got to be a dog to play left tackle. Moving one of the more experienced guys to left tackle and moving me to guard. First year, really getting varsity action, Coach Cole called me and he said, no, you're not playing guard, you're playing tackle. He said you're going to adapt or you're going to be on the bench. Simple. It was just like, you got to do it or not. So
the training wheels off.
I feel like that's still how he is. We replace our center and our guard, replace them. That's it. Like, it's no moving around. At first, me and him had talked a little bit about me going to center. And then he was just, we're just going to stick it out with what we got.
So y'all was run heavy last year. Do you feel like y'all will still be able to? Will y'all be able to run?
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of our run game isn't, we're not running any dive or trap, anything like that. We're going to run power counter, wide zone, stuff like that. Like stretch, stuff like that, with a lot of outside speed game, which is really going to depend on the receiver's ability to block. Which I always wonder, like, why can't we just line up 4 linemen on the outside when we going to run the ball and run to the outside? Why can't we do that? Is that ain't illegal? Yeah, they're going to know you're running the ball, but what they going to do? You got a corner versus a lineman.
You gotta stop him first.
You got a corner versus a 300-pounder. It's over with. You don't got no chance, but yeah, I think we'll be straight.
What about you, Ty? Where are you going to be at on the field this upcoming year?
I'll be a wide receiver 1, hopefully. I'm starting right now, but I don't want to be like a main receiver. But defense, I'm like second string, but I don't really play defense that much anymore.
Corner.
I tried safety, but I'm not gonna play it.
Okay. Got you. You got good size. How tall are you? 6
foot.
6 foot. Go up and get it, huh? Nothing wrong with that. So now, Jonathan, Ty, however you want to do, I want y'all to look at this upcoming season and the success of your team is going to be tied into fill in the blank. What do you feel like the success of this upcoming season when the clock strikes 0 on the last game that y'all end up playing and you look back on it, whether it's a win or a loss, maybe 5 years from now and know you left it all on the field, what's going to resonate with this team in order for it to be successful?
Buying in and bonding together in the locker room is definitely going to be a big thing. With the past years, it's been a lot of diversity in the locker room. This group stayed, the freshmen stay away, but this year's group, we're all just everybody's just mixed together. And that's, everybody can be friends, be cool with everybody, so that's like a big thing.
Like, one thing about this team this year that we didn't do in my past 3 years, everybody is bonding, everybody is cool with everybody. So this year, but with this.
All right. We're back at the Roots and Routes podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us on all the digital platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Once again, at the legendary 14th Street Community Center, we have our special guest for the day, Mr. Jonathan Carter. The last thing we talked about before a break, we was talking about the prospects of this year, this upcoming football season. Y'all, mandatory starts when? Next month?
Yes.
So what do you feel like the success of this season will hinge upon, and fill in the blank? What do you feel like the success of this season will be?
I feel like it will be like in just like our attitudes, like the way that everybody looks at it, like just like different, like we just all gotta be together and be one, and just like every time we go out, we just gotta go out with a bang and don't let nothing stop us.
What do you mean go out with a bang? So let's look
Yeah,
back. Let's look
Go
back.
ahead.
Okay, so you put it on the table. I didn't mention it. I want y'all to look back at the last 4 years. Essentially, you're looking at a couple games each year that you're circling the games on the calendar. And obviously, there's none bigger than a la Ironton, a la Willisburg, a la, there's certain games that you're going to circle. And obviously the last game of the season this upcoming year is Ironton. Now, the last handful of seasons, it's not been pretty. Let's be real. Let's be truthful. Let's be honest. What is it? Is going to go. It's one thing to talk about it, but the grind of it. Ironton just coming off a state championship. They put in work before, and I'm sure they're putting in work right now. How do you feel like when you look at the man in the mirror? How do you feel like Jonathan Carter, Tyshoune Henderson? How do you feel like you have worked individually and also the team collectively to get to the point where it's going to be different? Do you feel like it's going to be different this year, and why?
I definitely do. It's just like everything changed, like playbooks, stuff like that. But even outside of that, just like the work that I put in, like we implemented whole new workout plans, like everything like that, like having like team footwork and agility drills, stuff like that, box jumping, getting our legs right. And then I feel like it's also just, you just gotta believe in yourself. Like a lot of people see Ironton on the schedule and they're like, oh, it's Ironton. Ooh, it's Ironton. They're, yeah, we're not beating them, so we might as well not even try. We might as well just try out there and go through the motions. But they have a different team, we have a different team, so anything can happen. Any given Sunday or any given Friday, you never know the outcome of the game before you play it. That's why you play the game. If you knew what was gonna happen, you wouldn't play the game. You just say, oh yeah, Ironton beat Portsmouth. You wouldn't even have to play it. That's what you think gonna happen.
So, what about you, Tyshoune? Why do you feel like the failures against, for lack of a better word, against Ironton in the past, and why you feel like it will be or should be different this next upcoming time?
I feel like I'm gonna have an impact on it again this year. So if I go out there and do what I gotta do, then I feel like we can beat them. And I feel like it was same for our whole team. If we do what we can do, because last year before Ironton week, it was like, oh, we're not gonna win, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do that. But this year we always talk about we're gonna beat Ironton. So that's just.
So it's 3rd and 3, and it's 30 seconds left to go in the game. Y'all have the ball on the opposing team's 10-yard line. 10 yards to go to the end zone, but 3 yards to the first down. Coach Cobb draws up a play. Y'all get the first down. Now it's 1st and goal. And now there's 10 seconds left to go. 1st and goal at the 1. We got Mr. Carter here on the offensive line. And you basically got maybe 1-2 plays left in the season. This is Ironton, hypothetically speaking. Coach Cobb calls a run play. Let's say this is it. This is for all the marbles. Do you feel like you can put a hat on a hat and make sure whoever's in the backfield, whether it's Nando, whether it's whoever in the backfield, but maybe it's Marquez for the draw. I don't know. It could be anything. But at the end of the day, this is it. This is your will versus their will. Is y'all's will going to be strong enough to get over the goal line?
Yes.
And if you're asked to do something that may not be your strength, you feel like you would be up for the task.
Yes, sir.
What about you, Jonathan? What is more your strength, the pass block or the run block?
I'll be all honest, I'm still coach running right on my back.
So you feel like if they
The
come
game
straight ahead, and ultimately will versus will, you said any given Sunday, a game of inches.
Put the ball on me. Put it right on my back.
Hope-
Who's carrying the ball, put it right on my back.
I hope if the game comes down to it, I hope it's close enough to where a scenario similar to that is definitely on the table, because at the end of the day, if you're down 40, let's just be real. We're down 40, there's nothing that matters at that point. There's no one play that you can make up 40 points. So ultimately, y'all gonna have some inner guts. Y'all have to have the test of men to be able to, between the lines, tough it out and keep the game in the balance from quarter 1 to quarter 4. Ultimately, my hope is the success of the season isn't based on one game, because ultimately, even last year, y'all was not successful or not successful based on the Ironton loss. Y'all's success is ultimately if y'all put forth y'all's best effort, and if the other team's better than y'all, so be it. But what I want to see, as both of y'all finish out y'all senior seasons, is y'all lead by example. Don't go out there and bring negative energy to the team. I hope y'all take that to heart. Now, so let's talk about some of the best players that y'all went against. We'll start with some of the best players y'all played with in high school.
Devin, Lattimore.
What is it you remember about Devin? What made him special?
Devin was a dude.
He was good. He knew he was good. So and then Nolan Highland was a dog. Nolan was a dog.
Mine would probably be Sway, Tyler Duncan.
Sway was tough.
Sway's my guy. Even still to this day.
So he was a senior when you was what? Freshman. Okay.
And then outside of that, obviously answer. You're gonna go Chase. Chase
Right.
is no matter what people say about him, he had too many carries. He did this. He did that. Chase was a dude.
Right.
Chase worked hard. Chase is a workhorse back. I don't care who you are. If you're getting 45 carries a game, you're doing something right. Because nobody's body is just built to just endure that.
Okay, so now let's look at the opposite team. So what was somebody across the field, across on the other sideline, that whether it was must-see TV or it was just like, okay, the game plan is we got to try to stop this guy or this.
Tyson Simmons from Greenup, the quarterback, he's 6'2", 240. He's just a huge dude, and he runs the ball. He does throw the ball.
Is he graduated? He's still there.
He graduated.
Okay. He was tough.
Of course, Sean Terry.
Who?
Sean Terry. He was,
Oh,
of course.
yeah. Sean Terry was special, huh?
Yeah.
He was a dude.
What is it that maybe not the average fan would not recognize off the rip, but something that Sean Terry was able to do, or what jumps off the screen?
A lot of people
for you?
see some of the plays that he makes, and they're like, "You should just tackle him."
You can.
If it was that, somebody would have tackled him. If it was that simple,
Right.
just wrap him up and tackle him. If it was that simple,
Right.
I promise you, people would be doing it.
Everybody would be doing it. But he wouldn't have 3 touchdowns in the state championship game.
If it was that simple to just wrap up and tackle, like it's not. People would look at the TV and were like, "Man, they just can't tackle." Sorry to say, it's not as easy as it looks.
And not only that, he ran like a 4.3. He was fast.
Right.
So you couldn't catch him. You couldn't tackle him. You couldn't do nothing for him.
So your brother, speaking of Darion, and all right, we're here at the Roots and Routes podcast. Like, share, subscribe, follow us on all the digital platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Fanbase, you name it, we are there. X, aka Twitter, aka X, however you want to call it. I don't know what they call it anymore. But anyways, your brother, Darion Bryant, he has definitely blazed the trail, showed the blueprint, been a great example of what it's like to grind, persevere against all odds. He's in a place right now where he's on the video game. That's one thing, but also just the fact that he's gone a path that, hey, it's not necessarily the ideal or the way that anybody necessarily wants to go, but however you get there, just get there. So he's at Troy University right now in Alabama, and he's also been a great older brother, a great mentor, a great example. So another person is Coach Kennedy. So I want y'all to talk about both Darion and Coach Jalen Kennedy and the impact that they both had on both of your lives. So let's start with Tyshoune first, and then we'll finish with Jonathan. So talk about Darion, your brother, and also Coach K.
So Darion first. So he's my big brother, and obviously he's doing great. And everybody, you'll never be as good as your brother. You never do this, you never do that. But I look at it like, if he can do it, and we're cut from the same cloth, so if he can do it, I can do it. So that's why I look at it. And like he always tells me, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right. Do it, you gotta do it. If you want to get to where I'm at, you gotta do it. So I always gotta stay locked in. And Coach K, I've been working out with Coach K since I don't remember, but yeah, bro. He's helped me become who I am today. And he taught me everything I know.
For me, Darion was like him and my sister was like best friends. So I was always around Darion. And then once I started like getting older, probably once I got
Which
to,
sister?
Kamari,
Okay, got you.
they were like, I think Kamari was like a year younger than him, so they were always super close. I think once I probably got to like 7th, 8th grade, that's whenever Darion really was like me and Ty was always hanging out. So Darion was like me and Darion. I always look at Darion as like an older brother that I never had. Like I'm the only boy. I never really like even when Darion come in town, like Darion texts me like, I'm about to come pick you up. Let's go do this, go do that. So I'm with Darion. Every time he comes into town from Troy, me and Darion are together the whole 4 days. And my mom's like, where you been? I was with Darion. She's like, oh, all right. I always like Darion, we talk all the time. And then he just like always telling me he came home for Mother's Day and me and him were working out. Me, him, JJ, and Devin, and Coach Kennedy. And he sent like a video of him working out to like his head coach. And his head coach, you got to work on this and this. He was like telling me like, this is how it really is. Like, no matter how much work you put in, it's always something that you can get better at. They're never gonna tell you you're good enough. And then I just tell them every time we work out together, you just can't quit. You got people to feed. I'm not gonna say I came from like I was poor or nothing, but I remember like Christmas where my mom would give us gifts, and then we got to open our Christmas gifts at 5 a.m. in the morning because she got to go to work. It wasn't like we was broke or nothing, but we didn't have the best of everything. Fortunately, my dad was doing what he was doing, so he was bringing the money in too, so it all balanced out. But we didn't have it the best, so him reminded me every day like, it's like better. And then like we was working out on Mother's Day, my mom was like, where you at? Like, why are you home? And I was like, just let me work. Like, I promise, like I'm gonna do this, come home, and then in a couple of years you're gonna see like when I kept putting that work in, it paid off. And then Coach K, I started working out with Coach K recently. Now I haven't been working with him for too long, but he like broke down the game for me, made me understand it. And then like I talked to him about a lot of college stuff because he understands a lot of that stuff. Like he was there, he been through the recruiting process, he coached through the recruiting process, so he's been on both sides of the fence. So he explains to me a lot about that. And I try to help like Tyshoune and JJ out, like getting Twitter set up is a big part of everything. Like a lot of guys like stack athletes, something like that. Oh, college coaches are finding you. No, they're not. Don't sign up. Don't pay. You don't have to pay. I've been recruited. I don't pay for anything. I don't pay for no recruiter. That's just what it is. And you see where I've got far enough. You see where Darion's at. Darion never paid no recruiter. See where he's at. Like, a lot of guys do that stuff, and it's pointless. So Coach K's really coached me through that and just helped me a lot through that. So, yeah.
Yep. There's the old saying, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Obviously, the path that anyone would take is not necessarily a cookie cutter path, but ultimately you put in the work. And a lot of times when I listen to you guys talk, I can hear y'all's coaches talk, I can hear this mentor, that mentor. So y'all sound very much a lot of the people that have been at the helm of this thing during the course of y'all's journey. I'm very much appreciative that y'all have come to the Roots and Routes podcast, but we want to also look at the next step. So in the recruitment process, when did you realize that it's a business in a way, and the way that y'all put yourselves out there, whether it be the work that y'all put in on the field or whether it be the video packages that they use? Huddle, is that what they use?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Yeah, a lot of sites use that. So what's it, I heard you talk earlier before we got on air, your first recruiting path. How you see yourself as a recruit?
As a recruit, I see myself to look at from me right now. But when I talk to somebody, I tell them, just give me 1 year. I promise I will be the best player you ever see. I will. That's what I always say. I just say like, but currently I'm talking to a recruiter right now. He's helping me with all my stuff. So I'm like, I gotta see if it's legit first. But the way he's talking, it seems pretty legit. So I have a call with him tomorrow.
Got you. So what you feel like the recruiting process has been like for you, Jonathan? I know you've taken several visits the last year or two, and one thing that I've commended you've taken people with you on some of these visits. So what do you feel like the classes that come after y'all can take from you and take from the journey of being a recruit?
Jump on it early. I started really grinding Twitter, following coaches, talking to coaches sophomore, like the end of sophomore year. I would have started a freshman year, going into my senior year. I only got 2 years of actively trying to sell myself when I could have an extra year. So just jump into it early. I talk to now. I probably talk to 3 coaches a day from 3 different schools. But at the same time, you gotta know where your interests are. A lot of guys get wrapped up in, oh, I want offers. You don't really want to play football. You just want to post on Twitter, oh, I got an offer, or Instagram, hey, I got offers. You don't want to play football. That's why it's not about where you go. And I tell Titus all the time, it don't matter what school you go to, bro. You can go D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO. If you love football, you got the opportunity to play football, bro. Once you get to the D1, D2 level, it comes with the perks of and the NAIA level. That's why a lot of guys look down on NAIA because it's not NCAA. NAIA is better than NCAA D3. Guys will go D3 rather than go NAIA, which I don't understand. You get a scholarship at NAIA. Mm-hmm. They'll pay for your school.
Right.
They won't do that at D3.
At the end of the day, if you're going to school for free, where you're not paying for it, you don't come out with a debt by the time you're done, that's a win.
And that's the biggest part. And then once you get to the D1 level, FCS, FBS, got the NIL money is coming in. It's so much different now. Like, you just gotta bet on you every single day. You gotta wake up and you look at that man in the mirror and tell yourself, I am great. I'm gonna be great. And you just gotta believe there's power in that tongue. You speak something into existence.
Man, I forgot to peel back a layer. I forgot about you, Jonathan. You was in the doggone show choir. You in the show choir right now?
Yeah.
It takes discipline. It takes poise. It takes a little chops. Got a little bit of rhythm or something like that. And it's a whole different stage that you experience in show choir versus on a competitive field. Now, it is competition now. That is definitely that. So what is it like as far as an athlete? How do you juggle extracurricular activities like show choir, your education, what you do in the classroom, and so show choir, education, sports? How do you juggle that? How do you balance that?
I feel like I never really I like show choir, but I didn't really care about it that much. I just did it because my sisters wanted me to do it. As I got into it junior year, I actually thought about giving it up this year. I really thought about giving everything up, just like football, focus on football. That's all I need to do. But then after I started, I felt like I had something to prove. So once I started getting offers and stuff, like Miss Crandall would always tell me because I'm not the best dancer. I'm all right, but I'm not the greatest. But I'm a good singer, so it all levels out. So she would pick on me. She would be like, if you can't put enough effort into this dance move, how is D1 college is gonna want you? So I'm laughing. So now I'm coming back with something to prove. Now it's deeper than just my sister want me to do. I'm coming back with this. I'm gonna show you that I'm doing whatever. I'm the greatest. Whatever field you put me in, I'm whatever category.
Trying to be the best. Dominate. Hey,
across the board.
I like it. So what is next for Jonathan Carter? So we're looking at, again, both of y'all's senior season. By the time the season is over, clock strikes 0. You've had a successful run, and I'm sure you will narrow down the teams that you would like to go to, whether it be whatever level. Like you said, NAIA, D3, 2, 1, whatever level that you go to next. At the end of the day, your love for the game, your love for competing, your love for sport, it's been birthed from a lot of your journey. So again, your first love in a way was basketball. In a way, it was just being around the game. Coach J, is that a potential thing? You think you would?
A couple years down the line.
Of course. I don't want you to put that dream behind you.
College-wise, at least narrowing it down. I'm thinking coming in the summer or May.
So are you allowed to name the narrowed down list, or some of your thoughts on what it looks like right now?
I would say
you don't have to say.
I had a graphic made of my narrowed down top 5 schools. I said, Darion told me, "You're an idiot." Darion told me, "You're not committing to any school until after your season's over." I said, "All right." Deleted the graphic right then and there, and now we're back grinding. There's no narrow down. And I don't have anything. Darion told me right there on the spot, you have a whole senior year to play. You're going to play your senior year before you do anything.
Let it play out, man. Let everything, when the dust settles.
But I really feel like that's how it is with a lot of people, because you see a lot of the highly touted guys, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star committing in the summer, and you think, oh, I want to be committed before the season. But realistically, if you're committed before the season, guess what? If you have an all-or season, you have to decommit for most colleges to text you again to start. And by that time, most of the time, it's too late. They already found another guy. So I just I'm committed. I feel like I rank probably top 50 in the uncommitted, like in the state.
Darion went as close as Charleston in West Virginia. Ended up going to in Kansas, right? Yeah. Then now ultimately he ended up where he's at now in Troy. Is that a thought that you have in your next step as far as how far? Yeah, is that a fear that you have?
Nah, it's not really a fear.
Okay.
I like traveling. I like being
Okay.
but like for certain periods of time, I would just have to be like a feeling out process. Especially like I want to be somewhere like I have family on both sides.
Yeah.
Everywhere around the world.
So that's
something
also
like that
big.
out.
That's huge. That's a big plus to be able to have people all over the country that you can lean into. Ultimately, you're gonna be the one that has to put the left foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other.
All honesty, like the schools I most want to go to is definitely they're both schools I've been in contact with, talk to all the time, have their coaches' number, Twitter, all that stuff. Toledo and Cincinnati.
Sweet.
It's close, especially Toledo because Toledo plays in a MAC. All the MAC schools is Indiana, Ohio, Michigan. If you leave Portsmouth, go 4 hours up the road, you're going right past Bowling Green. I-75, you're going right past Bowling Green, you're going right past Toledo. Take one right, you're at Western Michigan or Eastern Michigan. Keep going straight, take a left, go down some more road, take another left, you're at Western Michigan. Like, that's 4 schools in the same conference within a couple hours of each other. And then you get Buffalo and New York. Most of the conference games, my mom and my dad are going to be able to come. Like, my family's going to be able to come watch me because I'm not that far away. And then Cincinnati is just like, Cincinnati.
Right down the road.
Nick Carwell, their offensive line coach, he came to the school. He was actually the first coach that came to the school. It was the second period. We was on a 2-hour delay schedule, so this would have been like April. We was on the 2-hour delay schedule for our state testing stuff. And I was walking out of the classroom. I was going to use the bathroom, and coach called me and come to my office. And I was like, what? And he was like, the Cincinnati coach here. So he was like, oh, okay, cool. I go down there. It's like a crowded hall. And I just look, and I just see, like, tall guy. So, yep, that's probably him. Then after that, after I started talking to him, that's whenever it really got real. Like, it became, like, a real, like, this could be, like, real life for me. This could be my coming out moment. And it did feel like, because I had already had offers at that point, but, like, a lot of my offers, like, you can get a partial offer, you can get a quarter offer, you can get a preferred walk-on, you can get a walk-on, you can get a full scholarship, especially with today's day and age, because now a lot of guys were getting full rides because they were just signing their national letter of intent. It's not that anymore. When you do your national signing day, you're signing a financial aid paper.
Okay.
You don't sign a national letter of intent anymore. So that's why it's a lot easier for colleges, especially with the NIL, because now they're giving those scholarship guys money. So you got to be more sparse with where you're putting your chips at. A lot of times, a lot of stuff isn't. You never really know. Like until you have to sit down with the coach and talk to him. Like, is this a partial? Is this a quarter? Is this a half? Are we talking full ride? You got to talk money. So you never really know where you're at. What if all these guys that are saying that they want to offer me like partial scholarships, I still have to pay for school? It's got to be terrible. Don't want to do that. So then when Cincinnati started coming out, I was like, maybe I'm pretty good. I think I'm back to thinking, I'm pretty good. People are coming to school. And I think 4 coaches came in the same day. Cincinnati came first. As soon as they walked out of the door, Marshall came in. And then as soon as Marshall left, Ohio University came in. And then like a couple of days later, West Virginia came to talk to me. I don't want to put this out there, but like he wasn't so much coming to talk to me, but I ended up like running into like shook his hand. Ohio State's coach came to give Coach Cobb some papers and seen me, and we like spoke. But it was like very. I think that's pretty much it.
Deal.
There might be a couple other schools, but.
So listen, this has been an honor, privilege. I want y'all to make sure y'all don't forget about us when y'all go to the next level. So we would definitely want to have y'all back when y'all are conducting y'all's own camps or whatever it is that y'all do in life that will be given back to the community that kind of reared you, raised you. You know, you suffered some significant loss in the last year or so. I believe your grandmother and great-grandmother, I'm sure, loss hits you in some ways, some seasons different than others. If you don't care to divulge what the impact that your loved ones meant to you.
It always means something special. After my grandma passed, I really just started taking it like, you just gotta do it for them now. It's bigger than me. So that's what I really like, that approach. I'm taking everything that's like bigger than me. That's pretty much it. I don't really cry, but I feel it. Like, it's just there. But I don't cry. I don't really get into that. It's always there, but I just know they always work there with me. So we're going to be good.
All right. Hey, it's bigger than us. A lot of times we stand on the shoulders of the giants that came before us. It's not like we're out here doing things of our own without any type of insight. We've heard words of wisdom from our elders, parents, mentors, coaches. They've tried to tell us the right things, and they've told us many jewels of wisdom and insight and knowledge. I want to take from this conversation with you two young gentlemen, just continue the path that y'all are on. I can't commend y'all enough. This really, to me, is what the platform is about. Y'all reached out to me, and I wanted y'all to tell y'all's story. I wanted y'all to give a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, towards the audience, so they could ultimately see there's more to these young men than just the sport itself. There's more to these young men than just their names. Y'all have real feelings, real emotions, real dreams and goals and aspirations. So ultimately, dream as big as you want to dream. Think the most outlandish thing that you could try to become and excel to, and go for it, man. I want you to have the last word, Jonathan. Any shout outs, any parting thoughts you want to give to the audience?
I don't got no shout outs. I feel like I'm going to miss somebody, so I'm just not do that.
Sounds good.
Just, so you gotta watch it, just be a light to the youth. That's the biggest thing that we as like a black community, no matter like what really ethnicity you are, but a black community, we gotta light the way for the youth, because they're the future. That's all we gotta live. After we gone, the youth is the next ones up. So we just gotta spread like everything that we know, what we learn, like can't have a crab in a bucket mentality. Like we gotta want to boost other people up,
right,
to be on the same level as you.
So ultimately, that's a call to action also to you young men that's out there that's about to be adults, you young men that are adults now, and even some of you, a lot of you elders. I'm not even going to say some of you elders. All you elders, matter of fact, y'all need to be doing something more for these kids, for these young people. Make sure y'all leading by example. You need to be high value men, high value women. Stand up, be a light, man. Until next time, we're at the Roots and Routes. Like, share, subscribe, and we are out. God bless. Good night. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate y'all.
For sure.